But he's not afraid to sit down. It just doesn't seem necessary. It doesn't rise to that level.
Afraid to go to a war zone?
No, I'm going to a war zone. We are with Saudi Arabia. We're staying with Saudi Arabia.
Afraid of Bob Mueller? Afraid of being in a war zone? And afraid to even challenge Saudi Arabia? But after all, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And Donald Trump seems to have a lot of that these days. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe, this Wednesday, November 21st. You know, I've just been thinking, as the scope and the scale of the historic Democratic landslide in the midterms becomes clear, we're actually getting a chance now, unfortunately, to see the worst of Donald Trump. And we're watching his devastating impact on this country and on his Republican Party play out on vivid display. You know, regardless of what Republicans try to tell you, there was no split decision in the midterms. Democrats keep racking up more House seats by the day, and they're going to end up winning the national popular congressional vote in the House by over 8%. That's a historic rout. In fact, there's never been as big a win as the Democrats have had in the House this off-term election. Unfortunately, we're learning by the hour that a rejected Donald Trump is actually more dangerous, more radical, and more unhinged than the Donald Trump we watched the first 2 years. And yesterday brought us a compendium of the bleakest elements of Donald Trump's immorality. Openly siding with the Saudis, even as their leader was declared a cold-blooded murderer by the U.S. intel community. Saudi thugs, they brought a bone saw to ambush an American resident and a Washington Post columnist. And going from Nixonian to Stalinist, as the New York Times reported, repeatedly and petulantly demanding that the tools of the Justice Department would be used to go after his perceived political enemies, Hillary Clinton and James Comey, blithely defending his daughter's personal use of emails also for government business, with dozens of unanswered questions that still suggest that her conduct could have been every bit as egregious as Hillary Clinton's. We just don't know yet. He was also standing by a corrupt, manifestly unqualified acting attorney general, and the most racially insensitive Senate candidate in decades in a Mississippi runoff. That Donald Trump, by doing that and everything else that we saw just yesterday, and what he's done over the past 2 years, he's forfeited any claim of being a legitimate president. He did that long ago. I find it hard to see how he could seek, let alone win, the presidency again in 2020. I don't think he's going to run, because at the end of the day, he didn't want to win in 2016. As I've told you time and time again, with Donald Trump, it is all about money. Sell out to the Saudis, even when your intel community tells you that they're run by a murderer? No problem with Donald Trump, because it's not about America's reputation on the globe. It's not about what's best for Middle East policy. For Donald Trump, it's what's best for Donald Trump, and not even politically, but financially. What deals can he make in 2 years when he leaves the White House? Vladimir Putin? He murders journalists? He assassinates political rivals? No problem. Never mind what the CIA says about the Russians trying to subvert American democracy. Never mind that the head of his own Homeland Security Department said that Vladimir Putin and Russia poses a risk to American democracy. Donald Trump says, you know, I don't believe the intel communities. Why, Putin gave me his word. Let's see what deals are done 2 years from now between Donald Trump and Russia and the billions of dollars that come his way. See, friends, this isn't about America. This isn't about politics. This isn't about the Republican Party. This isn't about a re-election campaign. This is about Donald Trump gathering as many chits as he can until he leaves office, because he's not thinking about re-election. He's thinking about all the money he can make as ex-president. So if it doesn't make sense to you, what he's doing. Maybe you should just remember what Woodward and Bernstein said during Watergate. Follow the money. And this is not political money. It's personal money. And it's not money in Trump's pocket now. It's money that he thinks he's going to make 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, when he can go to the Saudis and say, hey, I stood by you when the CIA had evidence that you lured a Washington Post columnist into your embassy, strangled him, and then took a bone saw to him and cut him up. That's what this is all about. And guess what? It's only going to get worse for Donald Trump. With Robert Mueller closing in, Trump has destroyed his own presidency, and he is showing us his soul a little more every day, or rather, some would say his lack of one. In the wake of the midterm super shellacking, the entire Republican Party is still standing in full support of its dear leader. Don't show me your tweets. Don't give me your speeches. Show me your courage. Show me your resolve that you want to put your country, that you want to put the conservative movement, that you want to put your party ahead of Donald Trump. But time's running out. For the sake of history and for the fate of the conservative movement and one of the nation's two political parties, good men and good women who want a future for the GOP need to stand up and speak out today, or their fate will be fully intertwined with this man who is crashing and burning right before our eyes. Republicans, you think 2018 was bad? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.